Today, I want to talk about the importance of really getting to know plants before you start using them. My name is Chrissy. I'm with Moon and Hair Collective. Please subscribe to my YouTube or my newsletter or some other way to keep getting more fun and informational videos to you. So way back, many, many years ago, when I first moved into this house, I knew absolutely nothing about anything. But I really wanted to populate the yard with a lot of medicinal herbs. And I was really on a tight budget, so I accepted plants from people who were really excited about herbal healing, but they didn't really know what they were doing. When I started herbalism school and started really deep diving into the different types and varieties of plants, I still wanted to fill my gardens with medicinal herbs. But now I know that it's super important that you know which plants you're working with. You don't want to be giving out herbal preparations to people without knowing what they are. And this actually doesn't go just for herbs. For instance, behind me is a cardoon. Let's see if I can make sure you can see it. People ask all the time if it's an artichoke, but it is not, and it's used completely different than artichokes. Here are a couple other examples that I'll show you today of the similarities and differences between a few plants that I have mistaken over the years. This is one of my many alkanet plants. The story here is that many years ago, back when I knew nothing about nothing, but I really wanted to fill my yard with herbal medicine, someone gave me this plant, telling me that it was comfrey. Well, I really wanted comfrey, so I gratefully took it. Let's take a look at this plant. The shape of the leaves is somewhat similar-ish to comfrey, but comfrey leaves are narrower. And these ones, the alkanet leaves, are more flexible. They're kind of thinner and more pliable. They also have these little hairs that stick off of the edge. And they are like more pokier than comfrey's coarse fuzz. And the bottom of the leaf here is like soft, but along these ribs has those hairs again, and also on here, and they are pokier. And so you do have to watch out a little bit for this. The whole plant is a different color of green than comfrey as well. And then we get to alkanet's flowers. These are completely different than comfrey's purple drooping flowers. They're tiny, they're bright blue, and they don't droop. Alkanet also has a totally different growing pattern, and it spreads wildly all over. I consider it invasive on my property, and once you have it, you will have it everywhere. Alkanet is not a widely used herb, at least not in around here and not in my learning. However, it does have some pretty decent medicinal uses, and the root can be used to dye salves and oils a very lovely red color. This is comfrey. It has a lot of herbal uses, which you should research thoroughly before using. Notice the little purple flowers that kind of droop down. They don't get, big and bursty. They just kind of droop down. And then you can notice on the leaves that they have very smooth edges. The leaves themselves are kind of hairy or fuzzy, but it's like a coarse fuzz. And the stem itself is also fuzzy, again, with a coarse fuzz. But notice the shape of the leaves and the smoothness of the edges, and then the design of the veins or whatever they are on the leaf there. And then again the flower is purple, and it's kind of like this droopy little flower. It doesn't get big and bursty like other plants. Another example is this plant, which is wood sage. And just, look at the little frilly leaves, and particularly the style of flower. So somebody gave this to me, telling me that it was horehound. And, again, this was back when I knew nothing about nothing. And so, and I also wanted every plant, so I gratefully took it, and it's been growing in my yard. Here is, they have like the pillar type flowers, and then just look at the style of leaf. I can't get it to focus. Now let's go take a look at my actual horehound and see what the difference is. Okay, this is my actual horehound, and you can tell that let's see, like a bigger leaf, you can tell that the leaf looks different than the wood sage, but in particular the flowers look different. Now these both, the wood sage and the um, horehound, are past their flowering time, but these were like little pom-poms along the stem, as you can see. And I brought the wood sage over so you can actually compare them side by side and see that the flower is like completely different. And although the leaf looks kind of similar, this one on in my hand is the wood sage. They are very different. They curl differently. The edges are different. The shape is completely different. Now, both wood sage and horehound have really beneficial herbal uses, but they're different and they need different treatments, and you just need to make sure that you are identifying your plants correctly. So, why is it so important to make sure you know what plants you're foraging or harvesting? Well, in regard to herbal preparations, we want to make sure that they have the effect that they should have. Many herbs don't necessarily have negative effects, but that's not true of all of them. Many herbs require a certain dosage or a certain way of using them. You don't want to take something for a sore throat and end up with diarrhea. Another reason is because many people have allergies to certain ingredients. So you want to make sure that you can label the foods and the herbal preparations that you make so that others know what to avoid if necessary. If you use something that isn't what you thought it was, it could cause disastrous problems for a person with allergies. And the last reason is because many plants have lookalikes that may not be suitable for human consumption. They might make us sick or worse. Some other examples of plants that people get confused are like tansy and St. John's wort, or in the mushroom world, morels and false morels, or chestnuts and horse chestnuts. In some cases, these can be really dangerous to be confusing. So just be sure that you're identifying your plants correctly, especially when you're out foraging. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you soon.